Hey, friends. Welcome to the Self-Love Strong podcast. I'm your host, Sam, and today we have a very special guest. He's lived through what he calls the year of collapse, a period where he lost everything, his health, his marriage, his family, his business, and even his house. But instead of letting his story define him, he rebuilt from the ground up at 60 years old. Dallas Collis is a speaker, an author, a coach, and an emotional baggage handler who helps people break free from the limiting stories that they tell themselves. He believes that we are all story and our stories lie. And he's on a mission to help others rewrite their narrative and step into their new possibilities. From surviving cancer, addiction, and suicidal thoughts to becoming a 16-hour coach, Dallas guides people to shifting their story, mind, and transforming their lives because he says we are all walk hard roads. We just wear different shoes. Man, Dallas, thank you to the show. I'm excited you're here.
Thanks for having me, Samuel. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome, my friend. Truly a pleasure. You say we are all stories. Our stories lie. What can you explain what that means?
Certainly. But let's start prior to the story to understand what we're all talking about. I would look for agreement with you to begin this talk. And that agreement would be, what do we want? What do we all want? What did our parents want for us? What did the grandparent want for their children? We all want the same thing, just to be happy, to find peace, peaceful mind, calm, beauty, love. We can wrap it up and say happiness. And that's all we do in our life is try to get to happiness. Some people work 40 years at a job to get to where? Retirement. For what? To relax, to find happiness. So can we agree that human beings really just want the same thing? We all want the same destination, to be happy.
Man, that's so true. That is the ultimate goal, right?
Okay, so here's the thing. If we agree that that's our destination, what are we waiting for? What's in the way of reaching that destination? What do we believe is stopping us? Our story is what stops us. You are a story, Samuel. I am a story. We are both storytellers. I meet you at a cocktail party and this is Samuel. Nice to meet you. Tell me something about yourself. And you will start telling me your story. Everything we are is what we have learned and kept in memory from yesterday, from our history. So from the time we're born, we begin building this story through experience of our environment, people around us, things that happen, what we're told, what we hear, what we see, what we feel, taste, touch. This all builds a story. And over time, we learn to understand that story is us. We associate ourselves as the story we learn from yesterday. Everything we know about ourselves and our world, we learned yesterday, and we apply it today living. The problem is that story was not created by you. It was imposed on you by the world around you, by parents, by teachers, by bosses in your first job, by your first girlfriend. All of the things that happen create the story. You don't necessarily consciously build your own story. And so there are damages to your story. Almost every human being suffers traumas and pain and frustrations and upsets and loss of understandings that we carry as emotional baggage in our story mind. And that baggage is carried with us forward in life. And for many people, there's always some struggle, some difficulty, some anchor holding them back. And it's from this baggage, this pain, this suffering that all human beings experience. So we come to a first level of response, and that is we all become addicted to blame. We blame the past. We blame what happened to us. We blame someone who did something to us. We blame teachers. We blame school. We blame the church. We blame the government. We blame the economy. We blame everything as an addictive defense. It keeps our responsibility at a distance, so we don't have to face the pain we're carrying. We can say it's not my fault, so I don't have to deal with it. It's your fault. You did this to me. And so we all come to that response, that addiction to blame. And some people live their whole lives in blame. Their whole entire life is they're never at fault. They're always blaming some circumstance or some people for how they feel. You upset me, you hurt me, you disappointed me, you. So we never have to look at ourselves and be responsible. Now, if you're carrying a lot of pain in your emotional baggage, blame starts to wear off. It starts to not work as well. And so for in my case, I reached for alcohol because it's a next step medication and it instantly gets rid of pain. Oh, it's gone. I'm with friends. We party, we drink, we're having fun. Wow, life is great. I like this stuff. This is good medicine. But of course, over time, you take the medicine too much and you become addicted to the medicine, to keeping the pain away. And you can't stop taking the medicine. And then even that medicine weakens. And I had to add drugs to get a bigger bump away from the pain, to push me further from the pain, further from myself, further from any responsibility. And so all addiction is this separation from yourself, never having to meet the true you and find out what's going on. We can keep it away. And then addictions grow. I know what'll keep it away. Success keeps it away. Goals, drive, accomplishment, discipline, the grind. If I'm always doing something out there, I don't have to be here. Now, over time, the body builds up such pressure from anxiety and stress and worry and trauma, and all these things pressurize our nervous system until the nervous system starts saying, it's time for you to look inside. It's time for you to listen. It starts knocking on our door. For me, I had a terrible bout of depression. See, depression isn't a disease. It's actually a safety valve trying to protect you from the damage you're doing with all the fear and insecurity and pain you've built up. It's trying to suppress your feeling so you stop doing the damage. That's a warning shot. It's telling you have to wake up. Of course, I didn't wake up. It went away. So I thought, oh, that's just a weird episode in my life. And it's a horrible feeling. Depression is really horrible. Then I got lucky. I woke up one morning with cancer. When I look back, this is the best morning of my life. In a pandemic, in a 12-month period, I go through cancer and treatment. I lose my wife, my house, my business, my family in any way you can imagine. I wake up alone, broken, suicidal, and still an alcoholic. You know, I'd gone through 25 years with my wife. She's an alcoholic. She's dealing with all the pain. We are both the same boat. You would look into our house from the outside and see a nice house, 2 beautiful children, cars in the driveway, vacations, a successful business together. These are normal, happy, good people. Inside that house was a storm, a war. It was terrible. Absolute horror movie to live in. So this year of everything falling apart is the greatest year of my life. In a sense, it does define me because it opened the door to finding me. The masks, all the masks were ripped off by that trauma of that incredible collapse. That train wreck meant you either die or you walk in a different direction. I got lucky. A door got opened for me. 2 things happened that changed my life, that saved me, that have now given me this new life. And those two things were, first, a friend showed up, and the friend said, hang on a second. You went through cancer, lost your wife, lost your house, lost your business, lost your family, alcoholic, suicidal, and it didn't kill you? You must be incredibly strong. And I thought, strong? No, I'm weak. I'm a weak, broken human. And he said, no, you're not. People don't do that normally. You have to be incredibly strong. So I thought, wow, maybe I could look at this differently. So that was the first opening of a door to see life a little differently than I was. And the second was, and I understand, my whole philosophy of understanding human beings is we live from the past, from our story. We identify as the story we know as ourselves. And you can test any person alive by asking them to tell them about themselves. They tell the story. So it is fundamental to who we are, to our identity. Now, my story had been absolutely destroyed, ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
I'm making dinner one day, and in the background on a podcast is a man talking about consciousness. And all he said was this one line, and it absolutely threw my life into a totally different world. He said, show me yesterday.
Wow.
Samuel, do you think I can go to the cupboard right now, pull yesterday out and go, look, Samuel, here's yesterday? I can't.
That'd be impossible. Yeah. Wow.
So where is it? What is the reality of yesterday outside of a memory and a belief that it's real? I believed it was real, and it almost killed me. It's a story. I believed a story that almost killed me. What is the reality of our story? It is just a belief.
Wow.
And if you want some of the deepest proof of the non-reality of your story, is people that may go through a crisis and will find religion. What do they find in religion? They find a new story. And if that new story is loving and caring, they get a community, friends, and people that are all interested in the story of being good neighbors, loving each other, caring about each other. Well, then it's a wonderful story. And what does the new story do? It absolves the pain of the old story. So if that can be done, it can be done with any story. The reality is we think our stories are so real, they cause pain and suffering, not just for ourselves, but toward each other. Not just with ourselves, but in a cultural story. And the whole culture has the same story. And what does that do? It's willing to go to war and kill other human beings based on a story. Not the reality of who we are. And the reality isn't a who. The who is the story we believe is a self. We are not. We are a what. We are what we are. And what is that?
Wow.
A newborn baby, an hour old, a minute old, doesn't matter. Look into that newborn baby's face and eyes, and what do you experience? You experience only love, beauty, happiness.
Yeah.
Now, here's the great secret we've missed. You're not seeing the baby. You're seeing your reflection of your heart, of your reality, of what you truly are. That reflection is in the baby's face.
Wow.
6 weeks ago, my mother died. 2 hours before her death, I looked into her face and her eyes. And what do you think I saw? I saw the baby's face. I saw beauty, love, happiness, life. That's all.
Wow.
Why did I see it? Because that's the reflection of what I am, not who I believe I am, what I am.
Wow.
Let's go further, because people need proof. If you are religious, if you believe in the Bible, there are two very little lines from the Bible that give you the whole entire story, the whole secret of life. One is God talks to Moses. Moses says, who the hell are you? What does God say? He just says, I am what I am.
Yeah.
Understand that. Not something, just I am. That's the baby's face. I am.
Wow.
The other piece in the Bible is Jesus. What does he say to his disciples? You need to buy a Lambo? You need a hot chick? You need to get a big house? No. He said, you are the light of the world. Not me,
Wow.
not them, not somebody else, you, which means we all are. We just are that beauty and love in that baby's face and in my dying mother's face. We see it at birth, we see it at death, and in between we fall into and are fooled by the story of who we think we are. And that gets in the way.
Yeah.
Take it from there, brother.
All right, man, that was beautiful. I mean, I really loved how your story shifted from like, and many times you get stuck in a challenging situation like you went through, right? You face those tough challenges and people get stuck there, but I never thought of your story being a part of your process. Like you said, that was a story I was telling myself, and how your story can keep you in place. You said it almost killed you, and it was a story you've been holding on to. I think many of the things that I'm holding on to that I'm like, it's a story. And I never put it in that perspective. Like, man, your story could be the very well thing holding you back from those possibilities, that higher joy. But it's a story we're telling ourselves that's really keeping us stuck in many ways.
So the story teaches us you need to find meaning and purpose in life. The story teaches us everything in our life is external. If I set goals and reach them, if I attain in school and get a diploma, if I achieve some new standard, some new understanding, if I work harder, if I use more discipline, if I apply more courage, I can create this amazing life. This is the fooling. There's no such thing. It doesn't exist. Every person already is everything they need to be. We have confused what we are with who we think we are, with who we think we have to be, that we have to get somewhere, find something, be something. You already are there. You've already found it. You already are something. You are the beauty and love and happiness. And then people will say to me, well, that's not being realistic. I have to go to work. I have to work hard. I have to make money. I've got to pay for my house. I look after my kids, raise my family, be a responsible citizen. I can't just sit around all day being beauty and love and happy. What the heck would that be? So here's the understanding I think we all need. What we call the journey is the story, right? That's the road we're walking, is the journey between birth and death. So that story, we have decided, has this great benefit in doing, achieving, getting something, getting someone, getting somewhere, having someone love me, meet my needs, make me feel good. And so we all fight and scrape for our piece. We have to compete and struggle to get our piece of the pie. Well, the reality is the story is not for fighting and struggling and gaining and getting and achieving. It's for enjoying. So instead of doing my job thinking I'm going to get a raise, I hope I get the promotion, I hope I make more money, you simply do the job today and enjoy the process of being and doing. And you have no attachment to a goal, to trying to get somewhere. You're living in it.
Wow.
And when living in it is the goal, it becomes the beauty and the joy. So that way, every day is that birth and that death. You're always in beauty and joy if you don't try and be somewhere else, like get to tomorrow. There's no
Yeah.
getting to tomorrow. It's impossible. You only get one day to live for the rest of your life. And it's the day you're here, awake, doing your thing. It's the only day there is. It doesn't change. You get the beauty and the gift to wake up tomorrow morning and do what? You get to do it again.
Yes.
What an amazing gift. 16 hours you're awake if you sleep for 8. You got 16 hours. Can you eat a little better and take care of your health in 16 hours? Could you find the discipline to go for a 30-minute walk in the nature and just feel better in your body? Could you take 20 minutes and call someone and tell them you love them? Can you put your attention on your job and just do the best you can? Of course you can do all these things. But the problem is we're living always in the past or the future, regretting what we did yesterday or what someone said to us at work, and we're still angry about it today. Or we're thinking about tomorrow in a meeting we've got to get ready for, and we're anxious about a presentation or something. We're constantly in these two places and forgetting the only place you can be is here. It's the only place that exists. So why are we wasting our time in the story from yesterday? It doesn't matter. You're here. You're going to, the poorest person on the planet ends up getting up every morning and finding a way to feed themselves, clothe themselves, and shelter themselves. Yeah. And we're the richest people on the planet, and we whine and complain about how tough it is. It's madness. The whole world has fallen under this drug of this story that isn't who we are. We are simply loving, beautiful, caring beings. We're supposed to enjoy our life. That's all. There is nothing outside of that. But we've made up this game, and we've made everything so complex. You look around this crazy world of storms, of politics and economics and global warming. Oh my God. Yeah. Everything's a crisis, and we have to be all worried and in fear. And it feeds this human fear until that's all we're doing is running around scared. Wow. When all we have to do is sit around and be happy. Do the work necessary to feed yourself, to look after your kids. But you only do it today. Why make it a big deal? Enjoy it and do your best. I do hard work every day. I will never work hard in my entire life. What's the difference? An example is I went to the gym this morning. I did hard work. I pushed myself. I pushed until there was pain in my muscles, fatigue, exhaustion, and I love it. I love the feeling. I love the connection. I love being there and doing it. And I'm not doing it so people go, oh, you look good. You must work out. No, that's the mistake. That's the story coming in. I do it because it makes me feel good. I enjoy it. The person who goes to the gym and wants you to say, oh, don't you look good? They're working hard. They're grinding. They're pushing for an external reason. So I look good in other people's eyes. I'm not here to look good in your eyes. I'm here to be this loving, beautiful person. And if I know you, I'm sharing that with you. Yeah. I can't love you. I can't love myself. I am love. There's nothing you do. You just let it out. You just share it. That's all we ever do. And people think I have to be loved. Is a silly externalizing of your needs. Yeah. You don't have to be loved. You are love. Yeah. It's already there. All you want to do is share it with other people. Wow. We're always looking outside. Something out there is going to make things better. We're going to get somewhere. We're going to be something.
Mm.
We're going to understand something that'll change things. There is nothing. There's no thing. You are no thing because you're already everything. You're all of it. There's nothing to acquire. We're just here to share with each other. That's it.
Wow, that is so beautiful, man. Wow. I think I really love here talking about, man, you are everything. We're always taught to look outside of yourself or searching for that external validation. But I love that thing that you've been searching for your whole life is already there. That love, that acceptance, that joy is already within inside of you. But it's like society is teaching you to look outside of yourself. But man, I love how you're really bringing it back to self. I feel like that power is always taken away from us, whether we, like you said, we enter with fear, doubt, or joy, or fear, doubt, or, but it's really taking that power back and realizing that the thing that we're very searching for is already within us. That's so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, the mistake happens in the first year of our life. And the mistake is you get a name. So all of a sudden you're a name. That's not internal. That's an external thing. My name. Then you get a possession, a toy. And it's an external possession and you love it. And it means something to you. Someone takes the toy away from the baby and the baby freaks out and screams and cries. Give it back and it's fine. So we're already externalizing our feelings. We go to school and school teaches us you want to get the right answer. And if you do, you get an A. And if you don't, you get an F. You're a failure. Wow. And then we have to get through the grade to the next grade. And they're teaching us to constantly outside, achieve, strive, set goals, make it, jump through the hoop, measure up. All these externalities. And so, of course, all our psyche and our feelings are put out into these external things. That's why they can hurt us. And so when I failed grade 3 and failed the whole grade, had to do it over again the next year, look at the message it sends to a little boy's brain and psyche. I'm not good enough. I came out of my school knowing I was stupid. I was incapable. I was a loser. I had been beaten up psychologically and physically, bullied until I was broken. And for 50 years, I carried that belief in my story. Wow. And we live like we believe we are. That's why childhood is so powerful with trauma. Because at that time, I don't have a filter. If you're the adult and you're telling me I'm stupid and I failed, I don't have a filter that goes, well, that's just your opinion. I'm fine. I can do that when I'm an adult. But when I'm a child, I just go, oh, okay, I'm stupid. I'm a sponge. I just soak it up. And it becomes me. I own it. But I carry it with me for all these years. And the damage it does to me. The things it keeps me from doing, from accepting, from understanding. Because I've got this filter now that says I'm not good enough. So how could I possibly be as good as all society is telling me to succeed, to achieve, to win, to get all these things to show I'm good? Well, if I can't get them because I'm not capable, just because of a story, then you just pile on more and more pain of failure because you believe you're a failure. And we live up to our stories. We try to believe in our story. Wow. This is why personal development has been such a failure as an industry. If you look at the last 100 years of books, of 250 million books, $150 billion of people speaking on stages about success and discipline and courage. Write down your goals, visualize your goal. Work every day towards your goal. Create your incredible life. Be your best self. What happens? 50 years ago, a Stanford University study says 95% of people don't achieve their goal. Today, the same study today finds the same outcome. 95% of us don't achieve our goal. Most of us walk away from our dreams of early life. That was
Mm.
childhood. You can't believe that. You've got to
Yeah.
fit in. You find your place. You find a job that meets your needs, and you settle. We don't reach our goals. We don't reach our dreams, what we think is our potential. And that's the
Yeah.
creation of the external. So what we've
Mm.
done is, here's you and your story. Here's personal development and the possibility. What are we going to do? Lay it on top of your story. And so it fails because we're not looking at the
Mm.
story. We're still
Story.
holding on to the story.
Wow.
So my mind is saying, I've got this goal to reach this level of financial wealth, let's say. And I'm writing down steps of how to get there and all the things I should do, the resources I need to collect. I've got it all figured out, man. I'm going to succeed. And all the while, this voice keeps showing up from my story saying, you're not going to make it. You're not good enough.
Yeah.
There's no way you're going to do it. And I'm fighting and I'm trying and I'm trying. And I'm one of the 95%. And I don't reach the goal. And I think, what's wrong with me? I'm not good enough. Because I'm still believing this story. This fake reality, I think, is real. The self, I think, is me. So when personal development says, as they do today so much, believe in yourself. It's a mantra. Believe in yourself. I say the opposite. Do not believe in yourself. Because the self you're believing in doesn't believe in you. The story is the problem, and you think that's yourself. So what are you believing in when you say, I need to believe in myself? I say you need to believe there is no self. You don't need a story. Why does a human being need a story? Why do we need this idea of who we are when what we are is this beauty, this love, and this happiness? It's never going to go away. You can't get more of it. You can't lose it. You can't use it up. It's always there. All we have to do is make it the journey to enjoy every step of life. Forget a story. It doesn't matter. What you are is this beautiful human being named Samuel, living your beautiful life and sharing it with other people. That's it. End of story. Just be that person. Just be the human being that you are. Don't be something you think you are, or you think you might change and become some place you're going to get to. You're here. You already won. You won it all.
Yes.
You're the winner. You're the most important person on planet Earth. You are. If you weren't here, there would be no planet Earth to you.
Wow.
You are the light of the world. You are everything. And so am I. And so is everyone else. We just don't see that we are. So we think we have to do all these other things. The fighting and scrambling around and competing and struggling, because we don't realize we are the most important person.
Yes.
It's already happened. We won. We got born. We're here. That's it.
Wow, man, I love that. I love that. You should just be in. I mean, I feel like, I tend to overcomplicate things. It's something like it's so simple. You've already won. Just the achievement of you being here, like you said, is a 1 in a million shot. Like, we are here on this earth. That is the ultimate gift. But I love the fact that everyone else is too. I think that's so powerful that we are all gifts in this world. We're all shining our own lights. So it's really not a competition. We are the winners. But I really love how you're talking about, we just need to be. I think that's many times we're being told we need to do. But I love how you're saying be. Because you already have everything you need. Wow, that's so powerful.
Yeah, but we do need to do. Because we need to feed ourselves, clothe ourselves, get sheltered, look after our kids, be responsible. Those are all things. What we don't do is take them and make them some benefit in front of us.
Okay. Yeah.
We don't hang the carrot out saying, when I get there, I get to eat the carrot. I get to win. I get the trophy.
Yeah.
You are the trophy right now, but you're still
Love that.
responsible to do the best you can right now. It's not doing
Yeah.
it for something tomorrow. It's for you right now to be enjoying the whole process. That's what you do it for. There is no meaning or purpose to life outside of this enjoyment of doing it, of acting, of being
Yes.
here right now. Not worried someone else is going to get more. Not worried someone's going to beat you in some race. Just doing the best you're ever going to do. There isn't an athlete on the planet who won't tell you when they perform their very best, they're not trying. They're not thinking about how to make sure their stroke is right in the tennis game. They're just doing it. They're in it. They are being the athlete. They're not thinking about whether they're doing it right or wrong or worried they might lose or might win. They're not thinking about any of that. We call it a state of flow. They're just there. Every time you've done anything in your life that has been just smooth and you've had total attention and focus, you've been there. You've just been doing it. That's the place we live. That's real life. Everything else is worries and concerns and struggles that we make up. You do it. You just do it. But the key is you have to be awake. We can't live sleepwalking in our story. And that's what most of us do. We have habits and routines every day that is sleeping. We don't even have to think about it. We're not really awake. We're living in a story and we repeat it over and over, day after day. You drive home from work at the end of the day tired. You walk into the house, you slap your keys down on the counter, and the sound of the keys hitting the counter wake you up. And you go, I don't even remember driving home.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
How is that possible? We've all experienced it. That's how much we sleepwalk in our story. That repetition of yesterday, that history that allows us and knows it's simple. You don't have to do anything. But that's not being awake. That's why there's trouble, because you're not awake. You're living in that story, sleepwalking. So you sleepwalk to the fridge and grab garbage food instead of being awake and deciding to eat something better. I've got a sticky note on my TV. It says, get off your ass. Because the TV knows I'm sitting there watching it and not doing anything. I'm sleepwalking.
Yeah.
Being awake is the whole gift. You've only got one day.
Yes.
Wake up to this day and do everything the best you can. And share that love and happiness. Enjoy it. This is it. It's not a dress rehearsal.
Man. I love that. I love that, man, Dallas. That's so powerful. So what would you say to somebody that's like, man, Dallas, I hear this, but I feel stuck in my story. What are some simple, practical ways people can kind of start to shift from that narrative?
You need to see your story for what it is. You've got to change believing truth. There's no truth in this world. It doesn't exist. Look at all science today. What's the biggest thing you see in science? Is a new discovery, a new understanding, an old belief dying. We are not in a truth world. We're in a reality world. And that reality is always changing. And so are you. The baggage you're carrying that's causing all the trouble is just a belief. It's not real. I was traumatized 50 years ago. It's not happening now. I'm not responsible for what happened to me. You're not responsible for what happened to you as a child. But you're responsible for carrying it with you. You're responsible to say, it's mine, and I can choose to put it down and walk away. We don't heal. There's no healing to be done. You can't fix something that happened 50 years ago. You can't heal that. But we have a whole psychology that tells us we have to heal. There's something wrong with you. It's a disorder. It's a disease. It's a bunch of made up opinions of science that has no truth. It's you that carries the problem. It's you that believes the story that gives you the pain and frustration. It's only ever going to be you.
Man.
The waking up is waking up to the reality that it's not true. And I don't have to be. I'm already here today. Every person who has pain and struggle, anxiety about tomorrow, regret and shame about the past, anyone, you sit with them and talk with them, and they're focused right here, right now, like you and I talking right here. They're not thinking about the past or the future. They're here. You can't be present and think about the past or the future. The brain doesn't do it. It can't do it.
Wow, yeah.
That's what we call daydreaming. I can be talking to you and all of a sudden I'm thinking about what happened yesterday. Or I'm thinking about what's might happen tomorrow. And I'm not really talking to you. But when I am, those things are impossible.
Yeah.
So people need to begin to recognize that those things are only when you go there and believe them. You have to go focus on the past and remember something. You have to go to tomorrow and be worried about something. That's something you do when you're here and focused and present in the moment, doing anything you do in your day. Most of the time, you're constantly bringing yourself to the present. Cutting some food on a cutting board to make dinner. You have to be present or you cut your finger.
Yeah.
You cut your finger because you left the present. You were daydreaming. When we're focused, nothing can happen. Nothing goes wrong. You can't be upset. You can't be worried because you're here. Only in the past and the future does everything come into it. And so start here. 75% of Samuel's life, Samuel can't remember.
It's true.
That's the reality of human beings.
That's true.
75% of it. Well, why is that? Why is that the case? What makes the other 25% you do remember different from the 75? Because they're not different. They're just memories.
Yeah.
The only difference is your story is a movie you watch. It's made by memories.
Oh, wow.
So if you have a memory that upsets you, you sit down in your theater and you watch the movie played over again. Wow. Yeah, that person really pissed me off. Man, I'm angry. And it goes over and over and it gets deeper and deeper. And pretty soon you're bitter and upset about that person. You just created the strength of the memory by watching it over and over again and driving it deeper and deeper inside of you.
Wow.
But you don't know what you ate for breakfast on Tuesday, September 14th, 2010.
True.
Why? Because it wasn't important. You didn't replay that movie of that breakfast over and over. Otherwise, you'd know it right now. You can take any memory and make it powerful. And you can take any memory and make it weak. How? Stop playing it. Stop going to the theater. Stop watching the movie over and over. And it'll slowly fade further and further away. I've got a scar on my wrist.
Wow.
I've got a scar on my wrist. When I was 10 years old, I was chiseling a piece of wood. And I slipped with the chisel and went right into my wrist. And I mean, bloody. Ouch. It was a mess. And I was screaming.
Yeah.
And my parents freaked out. And we raced to the hospital.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Oh, man.
Traumatic. I couldn't pick up a block of wood or a chisel for a year. I was so scared.
Yeah, man, I believe it. Yeah.
It's 60 years later. I look down at that scar and I have to try to remember that moment now.
Oh, wow.
Because when it left, I left it. I didn't replay it anymore. And over the years, I've basically forgotten. I literally, when I started talking to people on podcasts, had to think about these kind of things and go, you have to recover a memory recreate it. If you stop doing it, the memory fades away. You get out of your story by stopping playing the movie.
Wow. Wow. Man, Dallas, this is so powerful. Like, just to hear how powerful your story is, and especially the story that you're telling yourself, or the stories that are holding you back, or just, living in the past or future, but realizing that the real power that you have is in the, man, that's so powerful.
Yeah, we tell that story to ourselves over and over and over all the time. That's this voice in our head. I call it the deceiver. You can call it the ego. That's the voice that when you do something wrong, it goes, yeah, that's just like you, Samuel, you dummy. Way to screw up.
Yeah.
What the hell is that? Who's talking to me? That's your story talking to you, deceiving you, trying to keep you there. It doesn't want you to leave. Otherwise, it would die. Yeah. And you think that's yourself. So we're afraid to say, I could be without a self. If you woke up tomorrow morning with amnesia and forgot everything before that, who would you be?
Wow.
You would still be you would still be this loving, beautiful, happy person. Wow. You just wouldn't have the experience of the story telling you something different.
Man.
Behind you is a blue sky and sunshine. That's you.
Yes.
But you're looking at clouds and storms and thunder and lightning and scared from it. That's not you. That's the story. Behind it is always the blue sky and sunshine that you are. The love, the happiness, the beauty. And we have it come out of us all the time. Whenever you have a moment of awe, that's you. That's the blue sky behind you.
Wow.
You walk out into maybe a beautiful vista. You're on a hike in the woods.
Yeah.
And you come out and you see valleys, a lake below, mountains in the distance. And for a moment you stand there and just go, wow.
Yeah.
That's you. That's the beauty. That's the love. Then all of a sudden you fill it with, oh, I hope it doesn't rain later. Oh, geez, is that going to be windy? Oh, that's the story coming in that disrupts you. It doesn't want you to stay in awe and wonder because it wouldn't control you. It wouldn't have a story for you. There is no story. When you lie on your back at night and look up at a beautiful starry sky, the same thing happens. You're just there. You're part of the whole thing. The awe, the wonder, the beauty is you. That's what we need to carry through our journey. Not think we're going to find something. How could you find something better than that beautiful sunrise or sunset, that beautiful child's face just born, your loving wife gaze with you? How could you find anything better? That's it. Make that your journey. Make that in every day. Take that to work and love your work. I don't care if you're a plumber, you whatever, you're a doctor, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Your job doesn't matter. Your appreciation and love of your life doing your job matters.
Yes.
There's no scale. You're not better because you're the doctor and I'm worse because I'm the plumber. That doesn't exist. That's in our minds. That's in a story. We're doing a job to feed our families, to clothe ourselves, to look after each other, to be loving, beautiful people. That's it.
Wow. Wow. I love that. I love how it can be that simple, and that we're, always told to push for something more, but it's just being and doing what you can with what you got to the best of your ability, and just appreciating the moments along the journey. Man, Dallas, this is just a super powerful message. I'm so thankful that you shared it. But so how can listeners connect with you and learn more about the work that you do, man? It's so powerful.
Well, today, Samuel, if someone's got your name, you can't hide.
That's true. That is true.
It's a pretty connected world, and there's no place to run and hide anymore. So, DallasCollis@gmail.com, a simple email, and anyone can talk to anyone. I'm open to anyone. I have books that I've written. and they're all on Amazon. The latest is, I got to find the way. There you go. The gift is the present. And the gift is what we talked about, the day. This day is the gift. And being present is the secret to that gift. And your whole life is beautiful because of that gift and this day.
Man, I just love
that.
And
I don't want to leave people thinking, oh, he thinks it's so simple. It's not so simple. It isn't so simple because we have a big, crazy, complicated life around us.
Yes.
But that moment when you see it, it is simple.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to be conscious of and say to yourself, wow, that is it. It is simple. Because if you begin telling yourself it is that simple, guess what? It becomes that simple. We believe what we tell ourselves all day long.
Man, yes. Man, I love that, Dallas, man. Thank you so much for your time, for sharing your wisdom, man, and just encouraging people to really challenge that story that they're telling themselves. I think that's a great reminder that we all need, is really challenging that story and realizing that the true gift is this moment. Oh, man, Dallas, thank you so much for sharing your time. Man, you guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Dallas's email at the bottom of this post. I'm going to make sure we're able to find him on social as well. Don't let this be the only moment you reach out to him, man. He has so much knowledge to share, and you see the books in the background. Like, I definitely want to get the gift book. That sounds like something I need to read myself. But hey, you guys, man, don't let this be the last time you reach out to Dallas Collis. I'm going to put his information at the bottom of this post. Super thank you for your time, Dallas. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. And hey, friends, remember that you can change your story, just like Dallas said, by reframing it and realizing the gift of this moment. Take care.